Yeah. You know that stuff that actually destabilizes you? Like, it transforms you in a matter of minutes. You are a different person. And you just wonder what is happening, what's going on. So I did not eat much. I just had jollof rice and a drink. One small bottle of drink. And that was it. That was all. And so you ask, okay, so jollof rice, what was inside the jollof rice? Did they put coloring? My dear, as natural and as nature can be. With all the rishi nice vegetables and all that stuff. It was really delicious, the jollof rice. I didn't make it. Some other person made it and gave me. And after eating that fine jollof rice, and I took a bottle of tiger nut juice. And I actually do like tiger nut juice. And so you might wonder, who did you not go to buy from? It's not those people. It's not those kind of people I went to buy from. Oh, I bought a branded one. And the lady was like, oh, it's so nice. It's so cool. I made it. It's good. You will like it. And all the blah, 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 blah. My dear, poo-poo, vomito, it was wonderful. And so I had there's also something about an encounter. Sometimes encounters don't have to be spectacular. But you can also call it spectacular depending on what it meant to you. Because the one I had yesterday was spectacular. And that's because I just struck up a conversation with someone at a fellowship I attended after church while I was still feeling crazy. And so I just, when people ask you, how are you doing? And sometimes people don't really take out time to answer that question. So yesterday I answered that question. I was like, I feel like throwing up, but I've not been able to throw up. I have been visiting the restroom and the stool is watery. And so the person asked, what did you eat? Oh, and by that jollof, I said the first time, I enjoyed the rice. I was like, okay, so when you the one made it, I was like, no, I'm the one. But no, it can't be the jollof rice. It was really nice. And so he said, okay, so what particular, that's just one ingredient in the tiger nut juice. Yes, I'm telling the story like this because I want to anger you as you're listening to me. In case you like gist, let me just, don't mind me. Okay, so yeah, back to the story. So this is not the topic. Let me just finish sharing my testimony. Then we can do what we're going to discuss today. So where did I stop? Okay, the part where he asked me a question about something. So it was that ginger in the tiger nut juice. Now, prior to this time, I just, on the top of my head, just know that, yeah, if you're making tiger nut, you add ginger. If you're making zobo, you add ginger. For me, it was just like a normal thing. I thought that everybody does that. But then I just remembered that, I actually read the label on this particular one, and then it was clearly written there, tiger nut, coconut, dates, and that's all, nothing else. And I saw no additives, no sugar, no whatever else. And I was like, whoa, no, there was no ginger in what I had. And he said, yeah, there you got it. Minus ginger, you are in trouble. And so he told me how his wife makes tiger nut for them to take at home. And one of these days she made this one and she didn't add ginger. And he said his entire system was a mess. He was nauseous. He said, yeah, so he could relate. My dear brothers and sisters, that's how he went and bought me ginger. And I ate ginger. And I got myself small. Later on when I got home, I still had a combination of ginger and honey, in hot water. So I just took it and it was as if the thing went to bring out everything that was hanging in my system. And I was able to vomit. And that's the story of how I was able to come to work today and did not call in sick. Because the Lord loves me. And he did not want me to be lying down at home in that house all by myself. What will I be doing, Seth? Like, what would I be doing? Nothing. How boring. Jesus. Man, it was quite an experience between yesterday morning around 11-ish till late at night. It was, oh my God. But really, thank God, I'm happy, I'm here. And so yes, congratulations to everyone who made it to this day, healthy and strong. And so I'm sure you've learned something. So in case you're taking tiger nut juice from anybody or yourself, ensure you add ginger. All right, so let's talk about the culture of always on duty, even after work. So we're discussing always on duty. That's the topic for today, okay? And let me see. 1 o'clock, we'll move over and have the news. And after that, we'll be back and wrap up the conversation. 1:50, there's a recorded program. And 2 o'clock, Pastor Wisdom Osiri should be in the studio with me for Family Matters. And after that, that's it. 3 o'clock, the news, Rivers Today will take center stage, and then I'll be out of here. Okay. Deep breaths, baby. All right. So, yeah, what are we discussing? Always on duty. That's what we're discussing, right? Yes, exactly. So, if you are a worker in Nigeria, of course, you should be familiar. Not everybody will be familiar with this, but a lot of people can actually relate with this culture of always on duty. You're either answering phone calls from your boss, from maybe some other people, or even clients, or answering or replying to emails, or these days, WhatsApp messages, and, just handling several other tasks, even after work hours. And crazy enough, sometimes even when you are, in quote, on leave. Now, some people actually see this as commitment. In fact, there are some bosses that's what they love about the worker. Like, you can always count on him. You can always call on him. That's what some people call commitment. But then, there's something called stress. There's something called burnout. And then while it may appear as though there's, productivity happening in general terms, looking at the entire organization or company, but how about the individual who is always on duty? Sometimes they're less productive. They could actually do better and do more if they had off-duty time and there is no work during off-duty time. Should work really be everywhere you go? Because that's what it seems like for some people. So I had a conversation with someone close to me yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yeah, exactly. And so he was telling me how, at this time that he's on some kind of vacation. There's no work for now. They are resting. But then that he's really enjoying not being at work now, because by the time work appears, it comes from everywhere and they're so busy. You don't even have any time for rest and all that. I was like, wow, yeah, thank God. At least now you have break. You can now rest, But there are people who really can't say, I'm resting. Even when it's Christmas, when everyone is expecting that, there is break, Christmas holiday, you should go home from, after all the work put in within the year. It's the end of the year, so go get some rest. There are people who still do not get that rest. Hello, OAPs. Although they have their leave, right, in between. But I'm talking about those who work in sectors or in circles where there's a lot of pressure to still work after work hours. So I'm asking, what kind of work do you do? Do you still feel pressured to work even after work hours? And then does being always on duty help or harm productivity? If it's something you have experienced, maybe as a boss, you think because your people, you can always call on them. People are told, or employees are told right from the beginning that, hey, this work, there's no break. Once you're in, once we've started. So I hope you're ready for work. I like the kind of employee that I can call on any time of the day, any moment, any hour, and they will answer. Don't be that kind of person that you will not tell me, it's 10 o'clock in the night. My friend, if you're not ready for this work, please shift. So we're talking about always on duty. And I'd like to hear from you. All right? Or maybe it's not you. Maybe you have someone close to you who is, in quotes, always on duty. What do you see when you look at them? Have you observed something about their life? Something that perhaps you're concerned about? Or something that maybe you admire? So please do share. I would like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0009. 0817-923-0007. I'm taking messages on WhatsApp, so you can as well send yours to 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. All right, someone here is telling me, Mega, sorry, yeah? Thank you. He said, mine was Zobo drink. I noticed it was mixed with some lot of things when I asked. I suffered toilet visitation for 2 days. It is well I survived and do my Zobo drink myself. Thank you, Chiagozie. All right, Chiagozie, thank God and congratulations. You survived, right? Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. What's your name?
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome, sir. What's your name?
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, not working. You have to call me back. Hello? Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh.
Good afternoon to you.
Oh, interesting. Good afternoon. What's your name, sir? I feel like
Hello?
screaming, hello! But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Welcome.
Yeah. This is Gospel calling from One.
All right, God's power. I'm listening.
Yeah, I know somebody. In fact, this young man, he works round the clock. Round the clock, I mean. After work, when he gets to his home, he continues working with his laptop from home. Even sometimes he wakes up around 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. He's on the system working. The thing was not funny at all because at a point he affected his health.
Wow.
To the extent that he asked the company.
No way. No way. That did not happen. God's power. I want to hear the end of this gist. Please do well to call me back. Thank you. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0007. So we're discussing always on duty. All right. And I'm asking, does being always on duty in quotes help or harm productivity? Someone who is working round the clock, someone who's always available for work, even after work hours, even when they are supposed to be on leave, they are always working. Does it make them more productive, or does it harm their productivity? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Contact Mega. This is Akuku from Apokeche.
Welcome, Dakuku.
My beautiful presenter, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So let me go. If
Oh.
whatever,
Olua.
I need to get a little chance. I will not be able to continue with that work. How much are you going to be paying me for me to stress? When I go to the house, I will not be having rest. No, I don't touch work. Or any work will not give me chance to get in touch with my.
Oh. Dakuku. The network is not clear. All right, Dakuku, please call back if you can. But hey, better still, send me a message on WhatsApp, all right? So just type it out and tell me. Unless it's something really long that you're just thinking, start typing what now so that you start complaining that I did not put the proper. You know what? You can call in, please. The lines are good, all right? You can call 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0003, or 0817-923-0007. Well, if you can send me a voice note on WhatsApp, all right? Make it short, please. 1 minute is a good mark, so I can work with that as well. In case your line is not clear from your end, so that I can really hear from you. So I'm also asking if you've noticed anything about anybody around you who is always on duty. Gospel was actually gisting us about a particular young man. He says was always on duty, in quotes, was working round the clock. So he was getting to the part where he said the young man was about to ask for leave or something. Please, God's power, call back. I'm interested in that gist. You must give me that gist. I want to hear the end of that gist. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, Mega. Nobody dares to call me after my work every day, not even my boss, because official time must fully be utilized by me. Hence, no one calls me for any extra work when I'm at home after the day's business. Overstressing employees by their employers can harm their productivity by causing them fatigue. Clinton, Mr. Fresh in Port Harcourt. All right, thank you. Stanley from Eberi, welcome. Eberi Omoma, right?
Good morning to you, Constant Mega.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sorry, good afternoon to you. I thank God for you for yesterday. I was following up the story.
My brother.
Yes,
important.
For the sake of people who don't know, my name is Stanley Renta Swamembe. They call me celebrity businessman. I'm calling you from Eberiomuma.
All right, you're welcome.
So when you're talking about somebody always working, always on duty, but they don't be firewood now. Like I talk about myself, that is a time I work, no rest. So it is the time that I begin to feel some headache, you understand? So when somebody will say,
this network that is behaving like it's not behaving like 007. We're discussing always on duty. A lot of people, they still get to work. They still are required to have some work-related issues, even are not duty, even officially. You know, we're making this sound like it's only the excuse me, only in the corporate world. That's where you see this happening. But how about those who are entrepreneurs? Never resting. There's a particular woman in my street. I see her every day. Like, her shop is open Sunday to Sunday. And sometimes I just wonder, when does this woman rest? Why is she here? And when I leave work and I'm going home late, she's still there. In fact, she's one of the last people to actually lock up her shop every day. She's one of the last. If you're there around past 9 to 10, she's there. You will meet her. So she's always that one. She's always physically even present. Her own is even worse. It's not like those who they have to answer emails or make calls or, book jobs or something. You can still be working remotely when you're not physically at work. But then the entrepreneurs, they're also working. Some of them are also still working remotely when they have closed their business for the day. They get back home, time to stay with the family. They're still on the phone and they're still working. Round the clock working. Always on duty. And I'm asking, does that make someone even more productive? Does it make them more productive? Or does it reduce their productivity? What are the effects of always being on duty? In quote. Have you seen someone who is like that? What have you observed about this person? Now, the older people, I also like to hear from you, especially if you are retired. Because you see some of them who might, start advising younger men. Find time for your family. That's why you're always working. Find time and spend time with your family. I know you are looking for money is good, but find time and spend time with your family. Now, some people will tell you that they're just starting the business. Maybe they're not just starting, but they might say something like they're still building the business. And so there's no time for rest. I'm always, these days you see some of those captions on social media, where people are trying to let you know that they are on duty or they are available or, they'll say, disturb me with your orders, pressure me with your orders, 247, we are available. 247. How are you available 247? You're not using AI. You're not using some automated response, anything. Like, you're always on duty 247. How? When you're a human being. No time to rest. So maybe in the present, the person might look like they are achieving a lot. But in the long run, what happens? Like, really, what happens? I remember when sometimes people, when someone calls me more than 3 times, or even up to 3 times at once, usually what my response usually is, I'm not a doctor. Why are you calling me like 3 times? Because if you are having an emergency, why in God's name are you calling me back to back 3 times, right? I'll be like, I'm not a doctor. Why is this person calling me like this? Or I'm not a pastor. Why are you calling me like this? Because I just feel like, okay, these guys are the ones who, by the nature of their work, emergencies, they reach them first. Because why are you calling me 3 times in a row? Are you calling me to pray for you? Are you calling me to operate on you? Like, why are you calling me like that? But even at that, these people are human beings. If they are always on duty, what happens in the long run? Do you know anybody who has been or who was always on duty for a long time? And what was the result? I just want to know if there was something, if there's someone you know who made it, right? And maybe you had a one-on-one with them and they explained to you how, it was the best decision they ever made, putting in all the time, the work, never resting and having just little rest, to really build what they want. But is this something you do now, put in all the work now, tomorrow you rest? By tomorrow, it may not necessarily be tomorrow. Might be tomorrow of like 5 years' time. So I've just earmarked my entire year that we're doing this, we're working at this until we achieve this in 5 years, in 3 years, in 2 years, in 1 year, then I can rest. But for now, this is what I'm doing. Always on duty when you are not a mother. Moms are always on duty because when the kids call, you got to answer them. Mega something, we will not like leave. We will not like leave. How we go do? I remember my former place of work, Mega. I was asked to go on leave, but I didn't want it to affect my scorecard. Yes, I would be getting extra for perfect attendance. It's a money paid to staff who never went on leave in the year. I even resigned and dashed them my 12 days leave. But I'm in a better place now. Please, I advise anyone who is in a corporate environment, go on leave because when the headache comes, your company will still look for new hires. I'm Chair Goze Jare. My shift will soon start by 1, so I don't have shortage in salary. Interesting. So there are also people like that. And there are work environments where employees are very much encouraged to go on leave. Like they would actually call you to ask you, tell us, when are you going on leave? We've looked and we're seeing that for the past, perhaps even 1 year, you've not gone on leave. What's your plan? You need to go on leave. So you have to say something now. Let's note it down for you because we need you in good shape. So when are you going on leave? But how many companies actually do that? Not many companies do that. I mean, when I work at the beginning of the year, everybody's asked to note when they're going on leave. Like it's like they prevail on you to tell them when you will go on leave for the year. Yeah, something might happen. Things might go the way they go and you're not able to actually go on leave. But of course, the work is, you're not working all day. You're on a shift. So you do that shift and you go and that's it. But then you're still required to let the company know when you're going on leave for the year. But I've also worked in an environment where it was never a thing. Nobody ever asked you, when are you going on leave? And the very first time I ever said I wanted to go on leave, who are you going to leave the work for? Whoa! And I tested it one day. I said I was not feeling fine. I was sick. I'm not coming to work today. I stayed at home to see what will happen. And the work went on. The same thing that sounded like, when you're not there, who's going to do the work? Yeah, the people that were there did what they did, but please, I needed to rest. Aracelia says, hi, Constance. Call duty overload and spillover is a norm in my profession. You can even be called up in the middle of the night to assist an emergency surgery when you are off duty. Well, darling. You're one of those people that I used to say, am I a doctor? I mean, you're talking about surgery. Emergencies do come. They do happen for you guys, especially. Those of them in the health sector. But burnout is a thing. You don't want a surgeon who is tired operating on you. You don't even want a nurse that is burnt out. Always on duty. Someone here says, I work 3 weeks in, 3 weeks out. When I leave work site, nothing concerns work. Nothing concerning work concerns me until my 3 weeks rest is completed. Wow, interesting. During my youth service, I actually did that kind of work and I liked it. Although it wasn't like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off kind of thing. The setting was more like 2 weeks, 2 days on, 2 days off. It was beautiful. But crazy enough, even that time, I really did not utilize the 2 days off. You know why? I was almost like working around the clock. So those days, I just remembered right now, one of the things I kept asking myself was what would I be doing at home? Yeah, I had my own room. I rented an apartment, that's what it's called, right? During my youth service. And so I would just be thinking, okay, so on the 2 days that I will not be at work, what will I be doing? And so by virtue of the place I was working, or by the virtue of the work, the kind of work, it was a radio TV work. So when I'm on duty, I am on TV. When I'm off duty, I'm on radio. Yeah, it's usually the state's government-owned stations that have the TV and radio thingy, right? And so they were both in the same building. And so off duty, radio. On duty, TV. For me, I was not tired. For me, I was not, I didn't feel burnt out. I felt energized doing it. Because what would I be doing? Highest I would do those days was go home, sit down, and listening to messages. Yeah, listening to music. I didn't even watch a lot of movies those days or reading a book. Those were the things I did. Those were basically what I did. I didn't really do it. I would rather stay in my house. That's me. Then start dressing up and going some going where? Yeah. But always on duty. Is this something you like? Is this something that you're feeling like, you're feeling pressured? You're feeling like, yeah, based on where I am today, based on what I'm trying to build, based on what I'm trying to achieve, I have to always be on duty until we're done building this brand, until we are done making this money. So talk to me about that. Are you always on duty? Do you feel like you're always on duty? Is this something that you are voluntarily doing? Is this something that even though you are not voluntarily doing it, but you're not complaining, not because if you complain, so I would also like to hear from you. But then on the other hand, I want to know, does it help you or does it help you to be productive? Does it diminish your productivity? All right, Eric Chooks says, good afternoon, Constance. My mom headed rural health centers and she worked round the clock without complaining. Oh my God. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. Oh my God. Who's this? Moses from Creekview Drive says, Constance, you too like tafia. Ah, my dear, I like tafia. Tafia used to be sweet. I do like tafia. Leave me a break. How am I doing radio work and I will not like tafia? Here. Oh. Stay there. Okay, I can't take calls right now because if I start any call, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell me what you want to tell me in one sentence. I know you will not do that. So please send me messages. I'm seeing your own, Stanley. I'll read your message later on. But please send me yours as well to 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. We're discussing always on duty. And so I'm asking you, are you doing the kind of work that puts you or keeps you or leaves you always on duty? You're always working. You're always working. Always working. Is this something that feels like a pressure to you, or is this something that you're doing with joy? Is this something that you enjoy doing? And then, do you feel or do you think that you're more productive when you're always on duty, or do you think it's harming your productivity? All right, send me that message on 0809 030 6416. And then you can also get on Facebook. We're live there, so drop your comments. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. When I return after the break, I'll take your message.